This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
This is necessary media. The information provided in this broadcast has been deemed necessary listening. The views and opinions made on this broadcast have been deemed necessary listening. Topics will be discussed, stories will be told, calls will be taken, all in a necessary manner. And now, the host of Necessity, Michael DeOliveira.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with another installment, Necessary Media, Internet Radio. We got a great show planned for you today. Supposed to be in the Council's Corner today, we got City Councillor Dan Rego, supposed to be calling in. We'll see. Hopefully that's going to go good. I contacted him earlier today, and I just tried to send him another contact to make sure he calls in. He's supposed to be calling in about 5:20. We're going to get into the Council's Corner. This week, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of the word going around is having to do, again, like what was going on pretty much all summer and into the fall and winter, is surrounding, I guess, PayAsYouThrow again. Because the City Council is going to be attempting, well, it's been people in the administration are pushing to get PayAsYouThrow once again pushed through, so the City Council is going to have to attack this through an ordinance, because right now there seems to be a lot of back and forth with the legality of this. Some say it is, some say it isn't. Then again, you have some people who say it is and it isn't in the same time, in the same breath. It's amazing how you can do that. It's a talent, I guess. I don't have that talent. Usually if I say something, I mean something. That's just how I roll. But again, we have, for instance, the person I'm talking about is Councillor Ray Mitchell, who I have not had yet in the Council's Corner. I hope one day I can pull that off. I'm not sure how he is able to do those sort of things, but I will be contacting him trying to do that. So again, he has not been in the Council's Corner, so I have not been able to officially address it with him. But Councillor Ray Mitchell seems to be able to, he's one of the individuals who pulls this magic trick of 1 minute he's advising everybody, all the citizens, and he's advising the council that he does not think that PayAsYouThrow is legal. But he advises we all do it out of the goodness of our hearts, which there's a lot of conflicting opinions on that. But that's his push, is everybody should do it out of the kindness and the goodness of their heart. But then when everybody starts making an uproar about the potential of PayAsYouThrow not being legally enforceable, he's trying to backtrack off that as much as possible and saying it's not what he said, it's not what he means. But one way or another, when you corner these people, everything they're going to say equals you got to do it out of the kindness of your heart because the city needs the money. Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you right now where I stand. This is me, Michael DeOliveira, speaking for myself on this. There's going to be a lot of people out there with difference of opinions. It's fine. I've been using the purple bags. Not because I want to use the purple bags, not because I feel it's justified that I use the purple bags. I'm simply using the purple bags because I have a landlord who I don't feel like causing a ruckus over that, that amount of money. So simply for that reason alone is why I do it. But this whole time throughout, I will fight the purple bags, as in I will fight the approach to how it was pulled out, why it was pulled out, and how for the meantime, nobody, at least public opinion, I'll say that, my opinion and a lot of people's, nobody is really pushing for alternatives. So instead, we're handed this method, this approach to handle our shortfall in the budget through the past administration. But now what we're going to do is we're going to institute their way of handling this mismanaged funds. We're going to use their way, the people who brought you this mismanaged budget. We're going to take their way of handling it, and we're just going to implement it, enforce it. And that's my other problem. Last week I had City Council Linda Pereira in the Council's Corner, and I brought up to her that one of my biggest grievances with this whole pay-as-you-throw system is the fact that it's punishment based. So everything about it equals the citizens being punished. So because they had to come up with this money to reach the budget, the shortfall in the budget, and they can't tax you anymore because of a 2.5. An issue with a 2.5. There was no 2.5 override. They can't tax you more than 2.5. Raise the taxes more than 2.5 per year. So because of that, they had to get around that. So they created the loophole of, well, other cities and towns are using this trash situation, this pay-as-you-throw. Let's implement that. All right. So that's what they went with. So we got a situation with our budget, but my problem is everything about it is punishment based. So we're being punished for what they did with more punishment on us. We have to buy these bags now. We have to make and if you don't, you will be, well, they're going to try to, you're going to be hit with a fine. Now, my issue, and I brought up to Councillor Linda Pereira in last week's the Councilor's Corner, is there's no like reward system. So it's the same as like if you're trying to raise a child or train a dog. You know, if you just operate under a punishment system, you're going to constantly put that kid in timeout or whack that dog in the nose with a paper, a rolled up newspaper, or whatever, you know, whatever ways you want to go about a punishment system. Take away the child's toy over and over again, all these things, whatever. If you just operate under a punishment system, all you're doing is you're creating resentment in the individual you're trying to get to cooperate. Or to do, as you know, in this case, what the city needs. We need extra funds to cover these shortfalls. But if everything's based on a punishment system, all you're doing is creating resentment amongst the citizenry. So now what we got was we had the purple bags go through, and now suddenly you're putting your hands in everybody's pocket, okay? See, that's the difference. Some people before the purple bags were noticing that somebody was tickling their pockets. You know, they look down and they say, whoa, what are you doing? You got your hands in my pockets. No, I don't. No, we're good. And they let it go. But all of a sudden, the pay-as-you-throw comes, and now everybody's looking down and going, whoa, buddy, you got your hands in my pockets. What are you doing trying to get my monies? Okay? Because that's what it ultimately comes down to. These people are going to take your monies, and you're going to want to see that they're using them adequately. They're putting them to good use. One way or another, though, we have to address the issue of where these holes in the budget came from. Okay? Hopefully, Mayor Sam Sutter... he's supposedly looking over everything with a fine-tooth comb. So hopefully he finds out whatever he can find and we can fix this issue and cover these holes, because one way or another, the holes are there. We have to plug the holes, though. Now, again, my opinion, we don't just need pay-as-you-throw. There's other things we can do and we should do. I don't think it should be a punishment-based system, but yeah, that's where we are. That's one of the biggest things, again, being talked about, because, again, if you listen to any form of media or you talk to anybody you know who's either for it or against it, the biggest issue right now is the fact that the council is going to have to put this to ordinance to make it law so that they can find the people, they can penalize the people who are not going along with the system, because everybody else who is going along with the system, everyone who's being, my favorite word, compliant, and I put the sarcasm air quotes up in the air. I absolutely hate that word. It's compliant, compliancy, all that. All it does is, to me, it just illustrates just you're going along with it because you're told to. You're bending to the system. I just really hate that word. If I had like one of those Pee Wee Herman word of the days or whatever, sound effects and all that stuff going off, believe me, every time I heard that word compliant, X amount of citizens are being compliant. Ah! That's what I would do every single time. What's the word of the day, kids? Compliancy. Ah! It drives me mad. But I don't want to beat on that dead horse, because again, that is what you're going to hear all week from everything else. So again, if we got Dan Rego is supposed to be calling in. So if he calls in, I will ask him briefly. I'm not going to beat that dead horse, though. I will ask him his opinion on it, because he had a couple of important things that happened with him this week with that. Let me check the phone lines real quick. Let me see here. I believe it's all set. Okay. All set. Oh, wait, he's calling. Hold on, let me check again. He's calling right now. Well, that's what he just sent me a text. So, I don't know why he's saying it won't go through. Hold on. Technical difficulties, folks. We do not have a hold line here, but we have City Councilor Dan Rego calling in right now. Yeah, so again, technical difficulties because we don't have the ability to put somebody on hold here. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to enter the Council's Corner with City Councilor Dan Rego calling in right now. Right now. Let's try that again. We're about to go into the Council's Corner, ladies and gentlemen, with City Councilor Dan Rego calling in right now. right now. No. All right, see? The magic of radio, folks. I don't know. I'm not trying to give dead air at all. I'm literally having to look at my phone and text him the number again because I just texted him the number, but it's not going through, he's saying. So I don't understand what that's about. So let's see. What can we play? What do we play for like a minute here? I could play the warm-up song. Let's see if it works. Maybe that's what it is. I got to play the warm-up song to get him to call in.
Oh no, I've said too much. I set it up. That's me in the corner.
The Councillor's Corner.
That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion.
I don't think I gotta lose their religion here, but we definitely got to get this guy on the phone. Nope. Let's see. Where's my interns? I'm about to pull a Bill O'Reilly. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. That's a funny clip to look up yourselves if you want something funny. Look up Bill O'Reilly loses it. Or Bill O'Reilly. Oh, here we go, folks. Hello.
Hi,
Councillor Rego.
how are you?
I'm pretty good, and you?
I am well.
Listen, I tried to get my interns on that, and you know what I found out?
What's that?
I don't have interns.
You don't have insurance?
No, interns.
Interns, oh, okay.
Yeah, I tried to get my interns on it. I was like, handle that. We need to get Councillor Rego on the phone. And then that's when I realized I do not have interns. So I got to work on that part still.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's then transition from that into the whole the video situation with trying to produce a video to market Fall River to neighboring or even outside whatever communities and.
Well, as you may know or may not know, I was the one that put that resolution in.
Okay.
Due to the fact that the prior administration, Mayor Flanagan, was having videos put out about himself and promoting himself and his accomplishments. And I was wondering, I've always wondered why it was just about himself and not the city. So I used my resources to find out who did the production of the video. Come to find out, it was the high school kids at Durfee High School through the Fred TV program, FRG TV program that's in conjunction with Comcast. So I said, it's not fair that, we have elected officials at whatever level they are using these resources to promote themselves and their accomplishments when we should be using them resources
to promote the city.
Our city and the people.
Yep.
So I put that resolution in, and now there's going to be a contest amongst the kids at the high school to see which one can come up with the best video representing the city of Fall River in a promotional way.
Right.
Happy, positive.
Yeah.
And that's the whole intent with that, and I look forward to working with them kids and making sure that the videos that they come up with are going to hopefully get, viral, in a viral sense, between Facebook and Twitter, so on and so forth.
Right.
And hopefully have some money generated that we could do a commercial on all local radio stations like NBC, CBS, and what have you.
Right. Push it as much as possible.
Exactly.
All right. So that's just open though that's a high school situation. Was this specifically through Durfee?
Yes.
Okay. Now you're encouraging the students there. Obviously, you're encouraging their creativity, but you're also encouraging them to look at their city in a positive way.
Absolutely.
That's a twofold. And at the same time, to be realistic, it also serves another two purposes where, one, it helps whatever individual wins, it obviously helps them put something on their resume of, hey, look what I did.
Absolutely.
And at the same time, it's Fall River, it's benefiting from the video with minimal cost.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
With no cost, actually.
Right.
And it's and it gives them kids a sense of being part of the community that they're going to live.
Right. It'll actually
hopefully
bring them
reside
in. It'll bring them into looking at the city in a different way.
Exactly.
All right. But what I was going to say then, I would also hope that if people look at it under those same guidelines I just said, if that's specifically just for high school and specifically for Durfee, I would think it would be wise if they branch out also to like the BCC level. Like, there's a lot of people here.
Well, BCC is going to be included.
Oh, they're in on that contest?
Yes, BCC is in on that.
Oh, okay.
The BCC is going to be, probably the production manager.
Right.
And actually take a major role in what the,
well, I just figured as out of a like an experience sense, the high school kids, in my opinion, would have, maybe a fresher, more out there creative look at stuff, and they could probably help influence a viralness to it. Like, they could influence ideas that could help make it go viral. But I would assume the college kids out of BCC might have more experience with the equipment and could put something together more presentable. You know what I mean?
There are going to be meetings that are going to be taking place between myself and Councillor Correa and Councillor Silva.
Yep.
I think. I know I'm going to be involved, and I know Jay Seal is very, very dedicated to this. I mean, he's young. He's got a lot of
yeah, he has background in that, right?
He's got background in it, and
yep.
But at that time, I will make sure that meeting is publicized also to the public for those of you that have a lot of know-how and a lot of good ideas.
Right.
Actually, not necessarily
necessary,
but just weigh in and give ideas in a positive light.
Right. No, like you just said, there's going to be a lot of people who have another spin on things, another take on things that other individuals just might not be exposed to yet. Like, obviously, right. I'm assuming that a younger crowd is going to be hip to more things going on like, say, YouTube and everything than, I'm pretty sure someone else of a younger demographic or even just a different demographic is probably on YouTube more than yourself, for instance, is what I'm saying. Right. So they might have a better idea of how to attack that, Yep. All right, so that's the gist with that, and I definitely look forward to any information on that going forward. So yeah, if there's more meetings, all the people around that are listening right now, we got a lot of creative people who are out there listening. Whatever you can do to, if that meeting is open and people can participate or give ideas, that's awesome. That's going to help out a lot, and we'll, hopefully that works out for the best. All right.
Well, it's attitude is everything, and
yep.
Positive energy is also a great thing to have.
Positive brings positive.
At the end of the day, it's all about making our city a better place to live and play and work.
Yep. All right. So, part 3 to that. What's going on with the mill situation right now?
Well, to his credit, Councillor Correa brought in a couple of one developer individually, working hand in hand with the Office of Economic Development to look at these mills. There are investors that are out there in the world in regard to wanting to invest in communities that that they're going to benefit from.
Right.
And Fall River fits that profile because there is a lot of empty mills. There's a lot of spaces that could be revitalized.
Yep.
And remodeled for whatever use that it may be. Mixed use, such as storefronts, businesses, and then you may have condos on top of the businesses, as they do in most good, successful communities.
Yeah, I spoke with Jazel one time before that. Like, I know they have a lot of those loft type apartments in like the Providence area and everything.
And that's what young professionals want. We can work hand in hand in conjunction with UMass Dartmouth.
Yep.
To bring them kids that are going to UMass Dartmouth to be able to reside in the city of Fall River and attend college. And have a place they can call home, and then by them going to school here for the 4 years or whatever, how many years that they're living here, they can actually see and grow with the community and hopefully whatever talents that they graduated and bring that to the city of Fall River and make and participate in all aspects of life that we need here in the city.
Right. I mean, I'm someone who, when I just to be candid, I mean, when I speak to people about this particular subject on the side, for everybody who's just tuning in, because I just got a pretty significant jump in listeners, I got City Councilor Dan Rego in on the Council's Corner today, and right now we were discussing the meeting that had just transpired, where it was the meeting on economic development and tourism. So we covered things having to do with the 50th anniversary of the USS Massachusetts coming up. We also just went over some information on a video that's trying to be created and then marketed through online and hopefully viral means to spread basically the image of Fall River in a better light so that we can help market it to outside individuals, either businesses or communities, get that tourism, get that money in, get the monies, bring it in.
Absolutely.
And right now we're talking about is what's happening with the mills and how we can approach that. And basically what you were just getting into, and like I said, I've talked to Councillor Correa when he was been in the Council's Corner before. I've talked to him about it, and we kind of went over the same thing, bringing in people for the lofts, setting it up, see what we can do. But also when I talked to him, so I want to bring this up to you, we'll see what your opinion is on it. I know when you're addressing, I mean, we have, what's the total number of mills we have in the city? Do you know?
65.
65?
Correct.
Okay, so out of 65 total mills, like I had spoken about it with him, I know there's a lot of, I mean, this is, to be honest, at least to me, I might not be inside, it might not seem this way, but to me and other outsiders, it just feels like there's a lot of dragging of the feet on this subject. And what my concern is obviously there's a lot of push to turn them into lofts or turn them into certain types of apartments, but there would be a couple concerns. Is one, you definitely, if you're going to turn them into lofts, you want them somewhere in the mid-range. I mean, you want them affordable. You want definitely better suited suites. You want better suited suites for other people who have the money to do that. But you also want ones that are affordable for the people who just need a place to live. But I think out of that, there's two extremes that are the concern. There's going to be the extreme that there's a lot of wealthier apartments that just people here aren't going to be able to afford, which, yes, if you're bringing in outside people, that's good to get the money and help to spur growth and a lot of potential, economic potential. So I support that, but it's got to be in moderation, because at the same time we have people here who need homes, but then the other extreme concern is you don't want it to turn into like just a giant Section 8 hub.
Absolutely.
So how's that being managed or handled or approached?
Well, the thing is you bring up great points, and the point you bring up is exactly what I am totally against. Okay, I don't see. We don't need no more affordable housing.
No.
We have more than our fair share of the state of Massachusetts.
Agreed.
We need to deal with affordable housing. And
more Section 8 housing is not necessary.
Yeah, but in that respect, we need to take care of the Section 8 housing, the affordable housing that we have here, and we need to take care of them, because even that section of housing is hurting.
Yep.
And the reason why is because these affordable housing projects, if you will, the government themselves is letting them fall apart, not maintaining them,
right,
and so on and so forth. So what happens is the people that are living there get depressed. They don't take pride in anything.
Yep, this is a conversation I've had. I'm with you on this.
Right. We need to make sure that we take care of the affordable housing that we have now, make it a better place for them to live, for their children to go to school, to be happy in the place that they live, and bring in no more. With
Agreed.
That said, the misconception of market rate housing and affordable housing is huge. Even though you are absolutely right, what we need to do is we need to make sure that we put it not in a verbal voice, but we need to make sure that we have it documented on paper, that if we're going to bring in a type of affordable, not affordable, a type of market rate housing to be in a mill for a high price loss or medium price loss, whatever it is, $1,000 a month, $900 a month, whatever it may be.
Right.
We need to make sure that we have it documented that in no way, shape, or form will this building ever in its existence ever receive a Section 8 voucher or any type of affordable housing from any both state and federal agencies.
So nobody's approached so far trying to push that?
No. And I would be the first one to stand up and fight with the residents of this community that we have enough affordable housing. I mean, come on, enough's enough.
I agree,
and
enough is enough.
All our state reps are on board with me in that thought process, and I believe all my colleagues on the council are on board, even the mayor. Okay, that's a moot situation. We don't want that. But what we do want to do is concentrate on what do we do with these mills. And
So what
right
about?
now-
I know everyone was talking about the lofts. I'm sorry to cut you off if you were going this way, but I know everyone's talking about living situations. What's actually being talked about or addressed as far as like business community? Like, what's the actual business sense being talked about as far as those mills?
Well, that's just it. This is the beginning stages of what you call out a reach out program.
Yep.
To reach out to these investors that want to come in and take a mill and have storefronts, restaurants at the bottom section of these mills where you walk in and it's almost like walking into a major hotel up in Boston where it has like almost a mini mall in the downstairs, and
right.
when you take the elevator, you have a pass and it's all coded, and you go upstairs to your.
It's almost like a small community in itself.
Absolutely, and I travel a lot around the world. I've traveled, for instance,
Been around the world,
everybody must know I am Missourian. I am from Portugal.
Yep.
And when I go to Portugal, I see these humongous older buildings. One of the oldest hotels called the Gaivota, and at the bottom we have like a mini mall, and on top it's a hotel. It's beautiful. A perfect, for instance, is the MGM Grand at Foxwood.
Yep.
When you go downstairs, you have the casino, you have all the stores around, and that's what we need to do. It's called mixed-use development, and we need to reach out to these developers and let them know that we're ready for business. And I can't stress it enough. Even if we have a mill that is owned by the city of Fall River in lieu of back taxes and it has been abandoned, even if we give that building away for $1, unless that individual or that group of developers have a plan, a sound plan, and a very sound commitment to this community, we need to embrace that.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, once the project is done, we're going to get all of that revenue at a high tax rate, not a low tax rate.
Well, not only that, it's going to help to do like you've just and we've spoken about, and I speak about, continuously, is what it's going to help to do is no matter what, it's going to foster a better image. We're going to have things going on, and then you can actually tie this in with what we were just talking about before with like the Section 8 housing situation and the individuals who are there. We have to have people feel like they're a part of something that's actually working toward a better goal, and then they'll start to look at their area as a better situation. They'll promote it themselves, and then that's eventually how we can get rid of this whole, woe is me, doom and gloom attitude of the city.
Right.
You have to have people involved.
And the great part of Councillor Correa's efforts dealing with these developers, because he is a young entrepreneur, deals with a lot of investors in his daytime job, and I myself have witnessed the revitalization of mills to not affordable housing, and much to my surprise, it's like high upscale.
Yeah.
And these people, like it's happening in Lowell, it's happening in Springfield, in communities that mirror the image of the city of Fall River.
Right.
And with that being said, it's about reaching out to them developers and making sure that that we're ready for business.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in my opinion, my humble opinion is that we have not done much of that in recent years.
Well, what do you feel is the thing that's clogging that pipe from happening? Where's the problem?
I don't know. Maybe it's the lack of not having, a stronger economic development process here in the city. It's
now, is that going to? Do you think that falls in the lap of a group, a committee type deal,
well,
individual?
It falls right on the Office of Economic Development right here in the city.
All right, because here's what I was going to ask you. Then your opinion, because I honestly don't know enough to form mine, so I'd like to hear yours. But I hear a lot of negative feedback in lieu of, or not in lieu of, but in other words, in regards to Froed, the whole.
Right.
So what's your opinion on that? Do you think that's helping or hurting?
No, actually, when you're stagnant and you're not, and you don't see the fruit
right.
of the investment that you've made, in making that fruit, something's wrong. What aren't we doing? And this is why we need to have our finger on the pulse of accomplishments and hold people accountable for accomplishments. You know, we just hired a business liaison, Mr. Mata, and last year it's a $25,000 job. But this guy has made inroads of connections with the community, and basically asking businesses, what is it that you would like to see? What is it that we can do? The outreach is not there. Okay. In other words, we have got to look at the other communities, at other developments. Who did that development?
We should have an advantage. If you look at the neighboring communities who've been in the same boat and have done whatever, we should technically have an advantage, like in business in general, where we can look at them, see where they failed, and see where they succeeded, and obviously just don't do what they did that failed and do what they did that succeeded.
Agree.
It should be, easy stuff.
You need the individual or individuals to look at other areas of the community, of these communities surrounding us,
right,
and say, okay, wait a minute, that mill was totally dilapidated. It was a fireball. How did that get to that?
Yeah.
And then what we need to do is research who did the development, who's the owners,
yep,
why, how did they get to that point? And then we need to reach out to them and say, hey, this is the city of Fall River. How are you today? Can I meet with you? Can I sit down with you? Because we have property that we would like for you to look at. And reaching out to them, what I feel that we've been doing for many years is just sitting back and waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah.
Guess what? The phone's not ringing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly.
We need to get proactive.
Pick up the phone and dial.
And start dialing the numbers